Why did J.Lo and Ben Affleck break up? What went wrong with Bennifer 2.0? After 2 years of marriage and months of non-stop gossip, their split has left us all wondering, was this ending inevitable? Was their love story always destined to unravel? And seriously, who's going to buy their $68 million marital home now? The tabloids are in a frenzy, sources are speaking up, and the narrative is being shaped. So let's dive into the heart of what seems to have gone wrong. It seems like the trouble started right from the honeymoon. The couple jetted off to Lake Como, Italy, for what should have been the happiest time of their lives. But according to Page 6, things didn't go as planned. Photographers swarmed them, capturing their every move, and that set the tone for what was to come. Affleck, they say, was not pleased. He's known to be private, and the constant presence of the paparazzi seemed to get under his skin. He was unhappy with paparazzi following them, one source put it. Now, J.Lo is no stranger to the spotlight. She thrives in it. She's an international superstar, a public figure for decades. For Ben to act surprised that their honeymoon was turning into a media spectacle was odd. And there, right in the beginning, was a clash of worlds, her world of bright lights and constant attention versus his desire for some semblance of normalcy. The honeymoon, which should have been a celebration of their love, became a stage for their differences. They would barely speak to each other during this time. According to sources, Affleck had promised J.Lo that he was a changed man, but it seems that transformation didn't last very long. The cracks were starting to show, and they were only just getting started. Then came the documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told. This was meant to be a companion piece to J.Lo's film, This Is Me, Now. But it did something more. It exposed the growing divide between the two. Lopez, always the artist, was open about her process, sharing their intimate moments, including love letters from Affleck, with her team of musicians. To her, it was just part of the art. Affleck's reaction was a bit different. "I don't think he's very comfortable with me doing all of this," she admitted in the doc. "But he loves me. He knows he can't stop me from making the music I made and writing the words that I wrote." You can sense the tension in her words. He wanted to support her, but he wasn't comfortable being her muse, not in that way. He even acknowledged this in front of the camera, with a touch of irony. "If you're making a record about it, that seems kind of like telling it," he said, referring to their so-called untold love story. To him, their private life was being turned into public art, and that didn't sit well. It was another sign, his discomfort with her expression, her art, and the way she lived her life in the public eye. And then came the big bombshell. Lopez filed for divorce. On August 20th, TMZ reported that she did it without a lawyer, just going straight for it. The reason? Irreconcilable differences. And as we later found out, this was not a decision made overnight. According to the reports, they had been trying to negotiate a settlement for months. It was not going smoothly. The discussions had grown increasingly bitter, and still, there was no agreement. Lopez was done waiting, one source revealed. She filed for divorce on the second anniversary of their Georgia wedding ceremony, a date that probably held a lot of meaning. She tried really hard to make things work and is heartbroken, they said. Another source chimed in, adding that Lopez was ready to move on. She's very disappointed and sad, but Ben hasn't given her any signs that he wants to continue their marriage. It seemed that she had waited long enough. Even her name was a topic in this separation. Lopez had been legally known as Jennifer Affleck, but now, she requested to drop the last name and have her maiden name restored. This wasn't just a breakup, it was a clean slate she was trying to carve out for herself. And then, of course, the friends and insiders started weighing in. There were mixed reactions. Some were sympathetic, understanding, and supportive. Others were more critical. One of the rare Lopez critical comments came from a source who said her friends wanted her to do some self-reflection. After 4 failed marriages, her friends feel that she should take a look inside and focus on herself instead of what others want her to be, and finally figure out who she is and what she wants from her future. Ouch. That one stings. But it wasn't all criticism. Another source from Lopez's camp insisted that she had done everything to make this marriage work. She truly believed this was the greatest love story she'd ever known, and she was finally getting her chance at the fairy tale, they said. She had seen a fairy tale, but did she ever stop to consider who the actual man was in the story? Meanwhile, the narrative around Affleck was taking shape. Some sources painted him as a man with a darkness to him that no other person can fix. Lopez would have done anything to make this work, the source explained, but love would conquer all was not the reality this time. Affleck's erratic mood swings, his big highs and big lows, created a kind of toxicity that became too much to handle. Who he said he was and who he turned out to be were two different people, one insider claimed. This is where things got complicated. No one, not even J.Lo, could help him if he couldn't help himself. There was still love there, a great deal of love, in fact, but it wasn't enough to bridge the growing chasm between them. And then came J.Lo's social media masterclass. Over Labor Day weekend, she exercised her right as a newly single woman with a pointed Instagram photo dump, and it was iconic. It was classic post-breakup. Some hot photos where she looked absolutely stunning, some with her family to show she's got love and fulfillment outside of men, a few cute animal pictures, and of course, some inspirational quotes. One of the quotes read, "She's in bloom and unbothered, out of reach and at peace." That's a pretty clear message, isn't it? And she topped it off with a cheeky, nonchalant caption. It was a performance, and we were all the audience. It was like watching your friend post-breakup, reclaiming her narrative, showing strength, independence, and maybe a bit of revenge. So, what really went wrong with Bennifer 2.0? Was it Affleck's discomfort with the spotlight and J.Lo's world? Was it the clash of their personalities, or did love simply not conquer all this time around? Maybe it was all of the above. What's clear is that J.Lo tried. She tried hard. But in the end, it wasn't enough. And now, we're left to wonder, will they ever get back together? Or is this the final chapter in a love story that's already been rewritten too many times? Only time will tell. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share this video. Subscribe for more deep dives into the stories behind the headlines. And there you have it, the highs and lows of Bennifer 2.0. Was this the final chapter in their epic saga, or just a pause before another twist? Only time will tell. What do you think? Will they find their way back to each other, or is this the end of the road?